We'll get started. I'm going to do the Ashtakam. वृषभधनुजनाशान् नर्मदन्मोक्तिरङ्गेर् निखिल निज सखीभिर्यत् स्वहस्तेन पूर्णम् प्रकटितमपि वृन्दारण्यरत्ना प्रमोदैस्तदति सुरभिराधा कुण्डमेवाश्रयो मे व्रजभुवि मुरशत्रो प्रेयसीनां निकामैर् असुलभम् अपि तूर्णं प्रेम कल्पद्रुमं तं जनयति हृदि भूमां स्नातुरुच्चैर्प्रियं यत् तदति सुरभिराधा कुण्डमेवाश्रयो मे अघरिपुरपि यत्नादत्र देव्या प्रसाद प्रसरकृतकटाक्षा प्राप्तिकामा प्रकामम् अनुसरति यदुच्चै स्नानसेवानुबन्धे तदति सुरभिराधा कुण्डमेवाश्रयो मे व्रजभुवनसुधांशो प्रेम भूमिर्निकामम् व्रजमधुरकिशोरी मौलिरत्नप्रियेवा परिचितमपि नाम्नाया च तेनैव तस्यास् तदति सुरभिराधा कुण्डमेवाश्रयो मे अपि जनैः कश्चिद्यस्य सेवा प्रसादे प्रणयसुरलता स्यात् तस्य गोष्ठेन्द्रसूनो सपदि किल मरीषा दास्य पुष्पा प्रशस्या तदति सुरभिराधा कुण्डमेवाश्रयो मे. You want to scroll down, Preeti? तटभुवि वरवेद्यां यस्य नर्मातिहृत्यां मधुर मधुर वार्तां गोष्ठचन्द्रस्य भङ्ग्या प्रतयति मिता ईशा प्राणसङ्ख्यालिभिः सा तदति सुरभिराधा कुण्डमेवाश्रयो मे अनुदिनमतिरङ्गे प्रेममत्तालिसङ्गेर् वरसरसि च गन्धेर्हारिवारि प्रपूर्णे विहरत इह यस्मिन् दम्पातितौ प्रमत्तौ तदति सुरभिराधा कुण्डमेवाश्रयो मे अविकलमतिदेव्याश्चारुकुण्डाष्टकं य परिपटति तदीयोल्लासिदास्यार्पितात्मा अचिरमिह शरीरे दास्यात्व एव स तस्मै मधुरिपिरतिमोदै श्लिष्यमानां प्रियं ताम्. We'll read the translation too because this is the verse the bhajan which we don't do very commonly. So let's do the translation too. May very fragrant Radha Kunda, which brooded by the gopis, many joking words after Vrishabhasura's death, the king of Vrindavana forest happily built and filled with his own hand, be my shelter. May very dear and fragrant Radha Kunda, which for one who bathes in it immediately creates in the land of the heart a desired tree of pure love, rare even among the gopi beloveds of Lord Krishna in Braja, be my shelter. May very dear and fragrant Radha Kunda, where yearning to attain the merciful sidelong glance of his queen, Lord Krishna diligently follows her bathing attendants, be my shelter. May very fragrant Radha Kunda, which is named after a girl who is a realm of love for he who is the moon of Raja, a girl who is like the most precious jewel in the crown of the sweet girls of Raja, be my shelter. The mercy obtained by serving Radha Kunda makes the celestial wine of pure love for the prince of Raja, which is famous for bearing the flowers of service to my queen sprout. May that very fragrant Radha Kunda be my shelter. May very fragrant Radha Kunda, on the shores of which are many splendid and charming forest groves, filled with the sweet sounds of bumblebees and each named after one of Sri Radha's friends, be my shelter. May very fragrant Radha Kunda, on the shore of which In a pleasant courtyard, Queen Radha and her friends sweetly joke with Lord Krishna, the moon of Raja, be my shelter. May very fragrant Radha Kunda, where the passionate divine couple daily plays with their passionate friends, the charming lotus scented water, be my shelter. To one who is completely dedicated to Queen Radha's service and who happily reads these 8 beautiful verses describing her lake, even in this present body, Lord Krishna shows his beloved as he happily embraces her. Radha Kundashtakam ki jai. Now we'll move on to the Damodara Ashtakam. All right. All of you, please sing along, but stay muted, and we will. Yeah, I have shared my home temple, so you all can have the darshan of the deity there. Namamishwaram Sachitanandarupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam Yashodabiyolo Kaladavamanam Paramrishtamatyantato Drutya Gopya Rudantam Muhurnetra Yudmam Rajantam Yashodabiyo. Sorry about that. Rudanta Muhurnetra Yudmam Rajantam Karamboja Yugmena Shatankanetram Muhushwasakam Patri Rekhanka Kantha Stita Graivam Damodaram Bhaktibaddha Iti Triksvalila Bhirananda Kunde Swagosham Nimajantam Akyapayantam Tadiyeshitagneshu bhakterjitatvam Puna prematastam sata vritti vande Varam deva moksham na mokshavadimba Na chanyam vrineham varishadapiha Idam teva purnata gopala bala Sada me manasyavi rastam kimanye Idam te mukambojam atyanta nile Vritam kuntalai snigdha raktais chagopya Muhuschumbitam bimbharakta dharame Manasya virastam alam lakshalabhe Namo Deva Damodarananta Vishnu Prasida Prabho Dukkha Jalabdimagnam Kripa Drishti Vrastyati Dinam Batanu Grihane Shamamajnyam Edi Akshidrashyam Kuveratmajau Baddha Murtyai Vayadvat Tvaya mochitau bhakti brajau katau cha Tata prema bhaktim swakame prayacha Namokshe graho mesti damodareha Namaste studamne spuradipti damne Tvadiyo darayata vishwasya damne Namo radhikayai tvadiya priyaye Namo nantalilaya devaya tupyam Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We'll do the translation to today. Let's scroll down, Preeti. So in this translation, we see how Satyavrata Muni, who is the author of this, can you scroll further down? We'll see the description from where this is compiled. I want to see. Okay. This song is sung in the month of Kartik, also known as month of Damodara, as quoted in Sri Hari Bhakti Vilasa. In the month of Kartik, one should worship Lord Damodara and daily recite the prayer known as Damodara Ashtaka, which has been spoken by sage Satyavrata Muni and which attracts Lord Damodara. And this was spoken by Satyavrata Muni in a conversation with Narada Muni and Saunaka Rishi. So whatever prayer we are doing is not fictitious or not made by ordinary person. It was made by Satyavrata Muni and it was being conversed with Narada Muni and Saunaka Rishi. So let's go up all the way to the translation, Preeti. So now we carefully listen to the translations, which should actually be an inspiration as to what one's desire should be when we are praying to the Lord. These are all like examples or walking in the footsteps of acharyas, where we understand what is the mood of these great devotees who are praying to Lord Krishna, as opposed to what our mood is when we pray to the deity or when we go to temple and offer our prayers. What is our desire and what are the desires of acharyas who have explained through this beautiful Damodara Ashtakam. So it goes like this: to the Supreme Lord, whose form is the embodiment of eternal existence, knowledge, and bliss, whose shark-shaped earrings are swinging to and fro, and who's beautifully shining in the divine realm of Gokula, who, due to the offense of breaking the pot of yogurt that his mother was churning into butter and then stealing the butter that was kept hanging from a swing, is quickly running from a wooden grinding mortar in fear of Mother Yashoda, but who has been caught from behind by her, who ran after him with greater speed. To that Supreme Lord, Sri Damodara, I offer my humble obeisances. So this first translation explains it's setting the scene there, because the scene is where Krishna is being caught by Mother Yashoda, who's running faster than him. And then after describing how he is, what earrings he's wearing, and what is his form made of? It's made of the eternal existence, knowledge, and bliss. And after describing Lord Krishna, the Satyavrata Muni is saying, I offer my humble obeisance just to that Supreme Lord. Second verse says, seeing the whipping stick in his mother's hand, he's crying and rubbing his eyes again and again with his two lotus hands. His eyes are filled with fear, and the necklace of pearls around his neck, which is marked with 3 lines like a conch shell, is shaking because of his quick breathing due to crying. To this Supreme Lord Sri Damodara, whose belly is bound not with ropes, but with his mother's pure love, I offer my humble obeisances. So, how beautifully Satavrata Muni is explaining to us that Krishna cannot be bound by any material ropes, but can be bound only by one rope, that is the rope of love, which Mother Yashoda had. By such childhood pastimes as this, he is drowning the inhabitants of Gokula in pools of ecstasy and is revealing to those devotees who are absorbed in knowledge of his supreme majesty and opulence that he is only conquered by devotees whose pure love is imbued with intimacy and is free from all conceptions of awe and reverence. With great love, I again offer my obeisances to Lord Damodara hundreds and hundreds of times. O Lord, although you are able to give all kinds of benedictions, I do not pray to you for the boon of impersonal liberation, nor the highest liberation of eternal life in Vaikuntha, nor any other boon which may be obtained by executing the 9 processes of bhakti. O Lord, I simply wish that this form of yours as Bala Gopala in Vrindavana may ever be manifest in my heart, for what is the use to me of any other boon besides this? So look at the level of simplicity in desires. At the same time, how high standard his prayer is to always remember Lord Krishna in his heart and in his mind. And he does not think that any other material desire, which could be the topmost bone of going into the impersonal liberation and even eternal life in Vaikuntha, all that matters at this point to Satyavrata Muni is to remember this pastime that happened in Vrindavan on the day of Dipavali in Dwapar Yuga, that he wants to remember this pastime in his heart, and that is the only boon he wants. O Lord, your lotus face, which is encircled by locks of soft black hair tinged with red, is kissed again and again by Mother Yashoda, and your lips are reddish like the bimba fruit. May this beautiful vision of your lotus face be ever manifest in my heart. Thousands and thousands of other benedictions are of no use to me. So this teaches us, I hope children are able to understand what this, there are some complicated words here, benedictions, obeisances, but in simple words, it means that the greatest prayer can be to desire to remember Krishna all the time. It's a simple prayer, but that is the greatest desire one can have, is to always remember Krishna. And to remember Krishna, for us, for conditioned souls, it's not easy because we are constant, our mind is so disturbed, we're constantly distracted, we are living in a world full of what you call weapons of mass distractions, right? We have weapons of mass distractions. We're constantly disturbed, our mind is disturbed, and it's not easy to remember Krishna. And therefore, that's why Krishna gave us these 2 holy scriptures of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Through Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaks himself what religious duties of every human being are. And through Bhagavatam, he gives us the opportunity to remember him through various pastimes, through various naughty things that he did as a child, and various activities he performed, and also through the pastimes of his devotees. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita chapter 4, what does he say? Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo vetti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naitimam etiso Arjuna. He says, for one who knows the glories of my birth and my pastimes, to them there is no birth again. Krishna guarantees that in Bhagavad Gita. So for all of us, to make it easy for us to remember Lord Krishna, Krishna has performed so many pastimes with his devotees. And this is one such pastime. Damodara pastime is one such beautiful pastime of how Mother Yashoda binds him through the rope of love, and then and she's thinking that she's doing it for his protection, right? Because she was concerned that if that day she was upset with Krishna because he broke the pot, he walked all around the house with the butter footprints, and he messed up the whole house. So she was little upset with him, and she was concerned that if concerned that Krishna would run away out of the house because he saw his mother's upset face. So she didn't want to lose him. Therefore, she thought, okay, now if I let this little boy go, he might go far off from the house. So I will tie him up. And that's the reason, to protect him, to keep him safe, to keep him within his house. So she ties him up. And then acharyas have taken advantage of this nice pastime and have written such beautiful prayers, and for us to remember, for us to sing every day and get closer to Krishna by remembering him within our heart and mind. Moving to the next one. O Supreme Godhead, I offer my obeisances unto you. O Damodara, O Ananta, O Vishnu, O Master, O my Lord, be pleased upon me. By showering your glance of mercy upon me, deliver this poor, ignorant fool who is immersed in an ocean of worldly sorrows and become visible to my eyes. And who is saying this? Who is saying that ignorant fool? Satyavrata Muni is referring to himself as an ignorant fool. And what is our position when compared to Satyavrata Muni? If Satyavrata Muni is considering himself as an ignorant fool, then who are we? So how humble and how intense are the prayers of these devotees. Again, they're doing nice role modeling for us. That is the inspiration we have to seek from these prayers. O Lord Damodara, just as the two sons of Kuvera, Manigriva and Nala Kuvera, were delivered from the curse of Narada and made into great devotees by you in your form as a baby tied with rope to a wooden grinding mortar, in the same way, please give to me your own prema bhakti. I only long for this and have no desire for any kind of liberation. O Lord Damodara, I first of all offer my obeisances to a brilliantly effulgent rope which binds your belly. I then offer my obeisances to your belly, which is the abode of the entire universe. I humbly bow down to your most beloved Srimati Radharani, and I offer my obeisances to you, the Supreme Lord, who displays unlimited pastimes. So this last prayer here should be our prayer when we do Damodara Ashtakam, and after we finish, when we offer our obeisances, we should also consciously say that I offer my obeisances to your belly, which is the abode of the entire universe, and I also offer my obeisances to your beloved Srimati Radharani. That should be our conscious prayer when we finish that. When we finish the Ashtakam, when we finish offering the Diya and Ashtakam, and when we bow down at the lotus feet of the deity in our home. So that's how this Ashtakam is described in the Sanskrit translation is given here. Now we will go to the significance of today, which is appearance of Radha Kunda. Preeti, I will share one more link. You can share that. Okay, I'll put it in the chat. Okay, if you scroll down. Okay, so as we all are very familiar by now, by way of listening to Damodara Ashtakam and the pastimes for the last day is the 8th day. We have seen that Krishna's been killing demons left and right, and the main purpose of Krishna, as we already know, is Paritranaya Sadhunam Vinashaya Dishkrutam. He comes and protects the righteous people and destroys the demons. And as part of his routine, Krishna kills this Arishtasura demon, which is a bull demon. So that starts, actually, that is one of the context or the pretext in which Radha Kunda and Krishna Kunda had formed. So let's read what is given here in Bhagavatam. After Arishtasura had been killed by Krishna, who acts wonderfully, Narad Muni went to speak to King Kamsa. That powerful sage of godly vision addressed the king as follows. So let's scroll down. So can you search for Radha Kunda here? Okay, I'll read from here. From the Purana, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has quoted 20 verses describing a joking conversation between Radha and Krishna that took place after Krishna had killed the demon Arishta. So after the Krishna killed the demon Arishta, there was a conversation that happened between Krishna and Radha, who meet every day during different parts of the day and night time. And in one of those conversations, this happened in a joking and a jovial way. So let's listen to this conversation. This conversation, so kindly quoted by the Acharya, describes the origin of Radha Kunda and Shyama Kunda, Radha's and Krishna's bathing ponds. Let's scroll down. Then the innocent young gopi said, "Ah, Krishna, don't touch us now, O killer of a bull. Alas, even though Arishta was a terrible demon, still he was a male cow. So you will have to undergo atonement, just as Lord Indra did after killing Vritrasura. But how can you purify yourself without going to the trouble of visiting every single holy place in the three worlds? So the gopis are asking Krishna, you have been now uh, uh, impure. You're impure because you killed an animal which belongs to the cow family, and therefore you have to atone. We know that Aristasura was a demon and you killed, but you have to atone for it. So they're indicating to Krishna that you have to go and visit all the holy places to atone for your sinful act. And Krishna says, why should I have to wander throughout the entire universe? I will at once bring all the countless pilgrim places here and take my bath in them. Just watch. With this, Lord Mukunda struck his heel on the ground. Then he said, this is the water of the Bhogavati river coming from the Patala region. And now, O holy places, all of you, please come here. When the Supreme Lord had spoken these words, all the holy places went there and appeared before him. Krishna then addressed the gopis as follows. See all the holy places. But the gopis replied, we don't see them as you describe. Then, then those best of holy places, joining their palms in supplication, spoke up. I am the salt ocean. I am the ocean of milk. I am the Amara Dhirgika. I am the river of Sona. I am river Sindhu. I am Tamraparni. I am the holy place Pushkara. I am the river Saraswati. And we are Godavari, Yamuna, and Reva rivers in the confluence of rivers at Prayaga. Just see our waters. So each of those goddesses who were the embodiment of the rivers, they started speaking to the gopis saying that we are so and so rivers and we came here ourselves upon the request of or upon the order of Lord Krishna. And therefore, and after that, Krishna purifies himself, right? After purifying himself by bathing, again, this is all not required for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but this is a pastime which happened and which explains to us that Krishna, when he appeared in Dwapar Yuga, he behaved like an ordinary individual. And in that course, he also gave opportunity for us to later relish or to seek the blessings of Radha Kund and Krishna Kund through their manifestation. After purifying himself by bathing, Lord Hari became quite arrogant and said, I have produced a pond containing all the various holy places, whereas you gopis must never have executed any religious duties on this earth for the pleasure of Lord Brahma. Then Srimati Radharani addressed her girlfriends and as follows, I must create an even more beautiful pond, so go to work. Having heard these words, the gopis saw that Arishtasura's hooves had dug a shallow ditch just west of Krishna's pond. At that nearby spot, all the gopis began digging up lumps of soft mud with their hands, and in this way, a divine pond manifested in the short span of an hour. And Krishna was astonished to see the lake they produced. He said, go ahead, lotus-eyed one. You and your companions should fill the pond with water from mine. But Radha replied, no, 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 no. This is impossible. Since the water of your pond is contaminated by your terrible sin of killing a cow, I will have my countless gopi companions bring the pure water of the Manasa Ganga here in billions of pots. In this way, I will fill this lake with my own water and thus make its renown unequaled in the entire world. Lord Krishna then gestured a heavenly personality who was an intimate associate of all the holy places. Suddenly, that person rose up out of Krishna's pond and bowed down to the daughter of Sri Vrishabhanu, Radharani. Then, with palms joined and tears pouring from his eyes, he began praying to her in devotion. O goddess, even Lord Brahma himself, the knower of all scriptures, cannot understand your glories, nor can Lord Shiva or Lakshmi. Only Krishna, the supreme goal of all human endeavor, can understand them, and thus he feels obliged to personally make sure that you can wash away your perspiration when you are fatigued. He's always anointed. Let's go further down. Scroll down. Okay. Hearing this prayer spoken by the representative of the full assembly of holy places, Sri Radha was pleased and said, so kindly tell me your desire. So that person who manifested his desire was actually to fill the pond that was dug by the gopis and Radharani. And then when the person expresses that our lives would be successful if we could come to your pond, that is the benediction we desire. And that's how that pond also gets filled. And scroll down further. Then the Lord Krishna says, my dear Radha, may this pond of yours become even more world-renowned than mine. I will always come here to bathe and to enjoy my water pastimes. Indeed, this lake is as dear to me as you are. And therefore, this lake that appeared in this pastime, which is still now present in Vrindavana, in that forest called Bahulavana, is very, very, very dear to Krishna. It is said in Shastra that of all the holy places, Mathura is the toppest. And of all, again, within of all the hills, Vrindavan is the toppest. And then even greater than Vrindavan is Radha Kund. That's what the scriptures say. So when anytime you visit India and you happen to, you all should plan to visit Vrindavan, and it will be really nice if you all take visit this holy place, because it's described in Bhagavatam itself that Krishna says, this Radha Kund, this lake is as dear to me as you are. We are past time, but if you all can Google for Radha Kund pictures, you can see a lot of pictures. These places that that were what you call landmarks for various pastimes of Radha and Krishna became actually hidden when Radha and Krishna left this planet, right? After Dwapara Yuga was done and when Kali Yuga began, none of these places were actually known to people. They eventually got hidden until Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared 500 years ago, and he, along with his disciples, the 6 Goswamis, they are the ones who excavated all these places and have made them available for people, fallen souls like us, that when we visit Vrindavan, we know now which place is which, and we can benefit from having the darshan and visiting those places and offering our prayers. So again, it's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his disciples who help us know all these places today the way they are, revealing the pastimes that happened there and the spiritual significance of those places. So again, as I told, please Google and try to have darshan of Radha Kund in one of those Google pictures, so that at least we'll have the benediction, the benefit of having the darshan online. And on that note, I want to stop because we're already past time. So let's close the class for today, and I'll see you all again tomorrow, same time, same place. Until then, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thanks again, everyone, for joining and giving us your association.
Bye. Hare Krishna, Auntie.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Bye.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Anish.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.